Hey, good people. This is Rocky with Rocky's Reality, the #1 podcast for unfiltered and unapologetic culture, entertainment, and relationships. Tap in live Thursdays, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as I chat with some of the dopest artists, celebrities, influencers, entrepreneurs, and more. Make sure to catch us live Thursdays, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Facebook, YouTube, and Roku. See you soon. Welcome to Rocky's Reality. Welcome, everyone. Happy Thursday, almost Friday, y'all. I am excited to be back again, once again. I appreciate everyone who keeps tapping in. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Joe. Listen, Joe be getting me together. I appreciate you, Joe. My fellow D-boy. Thank you, Joe. Listen, people do not understand. And actually, my guest tonight she's going to understand how when technical issues happen, you just got to keep it moving. You got to keep it moving. So, and that's what we do here. So again, welcome to Rocky's Reality. And so just going to hop right into it. This has been one hot summer, y'all. Shit has been going crazy, but we keep it rolling. So I wanted to first talk about an event that is coming up on this Saturday from 10. It starts at 10:30 a.m. If you can bring that up, Joe, it is the Talk It Out, Walk It Out Black Women's Month Health Celebration March. This is going to be hosted by our WDIV Local 4, Channel 4, Click on Detroit, Live in the D host, Tatia Mayer. And shout out to the founder of this organization. It's called Remembering Cherubs. And her name is Monica Scholar Anderson. And the organization, she founded it for women who do not get that support that they need when they have either lost a child, rather it be via a miscarriage or a stillbirth, and just bringing more attention to Black women's health. And so she has started this initiative where she wants to designate August as Black Women's Health Month. And every year she has an event where there'll be workshops, there's going to be healthy food presentations, there're going to be health professionals on deck. There's going to be a walk around the museum. This is at the Charles H. Wright, by the way, you all. So that's this Saturday. So shout out to Monica Scholar Anderson. You all hopefully have seen her on, I believe it was Channel 4 and 62 discussing this. And as we know, I don't want to get into the statistics, but as we know, there's a huge disparity with Black women's health as far as maternal health and just our health overall. And especially under this administration, we have to be more proactive with supporting organizations such as this. So you all can go to rememberingcherubs.org for more information. And here's the flyer. Make sure you register. And actually, Monica will be here next Thursday, discussing the event, and hopefully we'll have some recap and just video from and just some tea on what happened at the event. So let me get into it. Switching over, I really appreciate my guest who made time, because I know she's got 50, 11 plus one things to do. But you know how we do as Detroit girls. We make it happen no matter what we have to do, okay? No matter who we are, where we are. So I want to, without further ado, I want to welcome to the stage author, multi-award winning, because she's Emmy Award winning, but she's also won NAACP awards. She was also named as the NABJ Journalist of the Year at one point. Sports writer, podcaster, D-girl, journalist, author, all of those things. Welcome to the stage, Jemele Hill. Welcome, Jemele.
Thank you. I appreciate being here. Love the applause.
Let's go. Okay, that's why I love Joe. Listen, Joe is a fire sign like us. So okay. I'm an Aries, and I think you a Sagittarius.
I am.
Or yep. So, and Joe is a Leo, so he understands we need all the things. We need, as a fire sign, we deserve it. So, Jemele, thank you for tapping in. I really appreciate you. And let me just give you your flowers. People know that's how I do. I want to appreciate those while they are here, while they can still smell their flowers. And I just want to give you the utmost kudos and respect as a trailblazer, pretty much, in journalism, not just as a woman, but as a Black woman. So.
Well, thank you. That's very kind of you to say. I definitely stand on the shoulders of some people myself. So in a way, it feels very strange for people to refer to me as a trailblazer because there are still a lot of women that I will always look up to, and a lot of people in general I will always look up to in this business. So that was very gracious and kind of you to say.
Absolutely. I mean, look, come on now. ESPN Sports Center, even my husband, who is, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I only watch sports because he watches it. And he's my sports translator, by the way, because I don't know what the hell be going on. I just know I root for my team. You know what I'm saying? I just be like, look, whoever, if it's the Pistons, if it's the Red Wings, if it's, whomever, I'm rooting for them. It's the Lions, even when they raggedy as hell, I'm rooting for them. So I always see, especially in media, we know we are in male dominated, white male dominated spaces, right? And so when we can make a way for ourselves, I always commend that. As far as you and other women, as far as, oh my God, I'm drawing a blank. Her name is Pam Oliver.
Pam Oliver, yep.
Women like her, Robin Roberts, women like those are, like you said, the women whose shoulders we stood on. And I have to say, I'm sure some youth are standing on your shoulders, because for you to have did what you did with Sports Center with Michael Smith, his and hers, to have all these different roles that you've taken on and to just pivot so well. Again, I just applaud you for that. So I think a lot of times we're so caught in doing what we're doing, we don't realize how awesome we are and what we've achieved. So again, I want you to take a moment to just enjoy the journey.
Oh, well, thank you. I don't do that nearly as often as I probably should.
I'm sure. So let's get into it. As I was reading Uphill, baby, let me tell you, I said, oh shit. God damn. I said a few shit, goddamn. Oh shit. I was reading it like, ooh. Now I'm an East Sider, okay? But I identified with so much of what you said, as far as, because I'm 49. So we around the same age
Yep, we're the
range. A
same
lot of
age, yeah.
George's, I agree, is the best Coney Island in Detroit. Ain't no grilled
Right.
chicken sandwich salad like it. Okay. So many memories. And also, like you, I grew up in the crack era, right? Had family members who struggled with substance abuse, had a grandma who held it down no matter what. Like, so much I identify with in your memoir. And I know for you that could not have been an easy journey. Well, as I
No,
was reading, I was like, damn, I know she was going through it. Like, I'm sure you did research and you had to interview family members, but what was that like going through that process of creating Uphill?
well, it was the book that I really honestly didn't want to write. And I say that because um, when my agent first told me about it, I thought, why would I write a book about myself? Like, I always dreamed about being an author, but I never dreamt about writing about myself. That was not part of
Mm,
what the plan was supposed to be. I wanted to write fiction, and I still do want to write fiction, and I still will write fiction. But that's how I assumed that my writing, well, this part of my writing career would start. But the more he convinced me, and he also said that, hey, it's probably going to be a bidding war for your memoir. So you really should seriously think about and take seriously. And I was like, all right, I'll do it. So I knew that if I wanted to do a memoir, that the only way to do it was to do it as transparently as possible. And I wanted people to understand why I have the perspective and the disposition that I have, where that comes from. And I'm often fond of saying that, like, Detroit raised me, because it's true. Obviously my mom did and my grandma did, and all of that, but it's something about that city. And when you come from a
mhm.
city like Detroit, that
Yep.
you just built different. You just built a
Yeah.
little bit different. And that's a good thing, I
Mm,
think, because we have a resiliency, a grit, a toughness about us that is very different. I'm not trying to throw shade at other cities. I know everybody has a little something that they get from their own city, but to be from Detroit is
is
really special. And so it's also, you knew this since we're around the same age, like growing up, the only time Detroit was ever on the national news was Devil's Night and when the murder rate came out. And that was
Yep,
literally it. And it's
yep.
like,
Or the anniversary of the 1967,
oh,
right.
other riots. Yep, other riots.
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
one of those 3 times. Other than that,
Mhm,
and maybe here and there if they wanted to acknowledge Motown. Maybe here and there it
mhm.
might be that.
Yep,
But
yep,
other than that, it was usually for something bad. And I
yep.
got tired of that, narrative, be understanding based off my family, my peers, other folks that I knew. Like it's a lot of good things and good people who come from Detroit. And
Yeah.
I always wanted to represent that, whether I was at ESPN, whether I was anywhere that I was. And I wanted this book to represent that. Yeah, we all have a journey, but what matters is what you do with that journey and where you go with that journey. And so, as they often say, don't nobody put on for Detroit like people from Detroit. And so I wanted to embody that and carry that and really, really give people a very transparent, raw, and vulnerable look at my life.
Yeah.
That I didn't just pop up at ESPN by accident, and that there was a lot that went into it for me to get to some place like that. And so I just wanted to share that with people.
I love it. And you definitely did, because baby, some of those moments I was like, damn. I was identifying with a lot of how women, how we disguise pain, how we get through pain. And I love how you reflected on a lot of times how those your upbringing, how that affected how you showed up professionally as well, how you had to get out of that poverty mindset, how you had to get out of imposter syndrome and get out of your head about a lot of things. So I really identify with that. So I really want to commend you on that. So at this point in your life, as you look back on all the shit that has went down, all the ups, downs, turnarounds, all the trials and triumphs, Jemele, um, are you still uphill? Or are you on the downslope now? Where are we at? Where are we at with it? Because you hear that everywhere. So I'm like, where are
Yeah.
you at?
Well, I mean, it's still a climb. Like, I mean, it's just I might be climbing to a different place than I was 10 or 15 years ago, but it's still a climb. Like I'm still out here grinding. Like no question about it. And it is the media business is tough. And I guess that applies to virtually anything that you're associated with when you Black in America. It's like, yeah, it's all tough. It's all obstacles. It's all
Mhm.
uphill to some
Yep. Yeah.
degree. But I think I'm motivated by different things than I was when I was a little younger. Now it is to me more important about the people that I help and assist along the way, as opposed to maybe some of personal motivations that I have. I mean, I still have big goals. Like I mentioned, I want to write a fiction novel. Like that's a really big goal of mine. And so like there's still some things that I have left on the table, but I think the journey just changed just because um my mentality is a little different, and the things that give me fulfillment and joy have changed versus what it used to be.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Ooh, we'll be thinking the same thing. Cause I'm like, look, a lot of times the older we get, it's about comfort and security and convenience, baby. We are at
Mhm.
a big age.
Definitely.
So, and this is the irony for me as a Wolverine, because it's like, I swear, Spartans, I run into y'all all the time. Like, damn. But I can't even front. Y'all are some of my favorite people. Much respect to y'all. I just talk shit because of the rivalry over the years, but I really do love y'all. And I don't care, as long as you're going to college, go to college. But this is my thing. I think about how my daughter went to a HBCU and how now HBCUs, we understand the value. Back in the day
Mhm.
when we were going to college, not so much. And that's why I chose to go to Michigan. And I don't know, that might have geared your, decision to go to Michigan State. But we both went to PWIs. And I noticed how going to a PWI, you have to assert in a certain way when you show up in certain spaces and advocate for yourself as a Black woman. So can you touch on that?
Yeah, so actually, my first choice was FAMU.
Oh,
And if you recall, I mean, because what we're talking, early 90s, I graduated from high school in 93. And that what was big then, as you know, was the Cosby Show and A Different World.
mhm, yeah,
And A Different World got a lot of us who weren't previously thinking about HBCUs. I certainly weren't. And
yeah,
I certainly wasn't until A Different
yep,
World
that's
popped
true.
up. Yeah, and then as a fashion statement, remember we was out here wearing all the black
Yes,
college gear,
yes, the little
we had
jogging suits,
the
yes, baby,
jogging suits, yep, the
with the,
sweatshirts, like
the emblem, the African emblem
with
hanging
the
around our
Afro.
neck, baby. Listen.
So that really piqued my curiosity,
Yeah.
and I got a scholarship. I had a scholarship where the way it worked is if I went out of state, it would be a smaller percentage of money I would have received as if I stayed in state. If I stayed in state,
Mhm,
it would have been all my
yeah.
tuition and fees all would have been fully paid for. Out of state, only a certain percentage.
Mhm.
But even, with getting financial aid, I could have gone to FAMU. But unfortunately, and this I tell this to my friends who have kids, and I said, listen, the worst thing you could do is put your own fears and insecurities on your children. That's the worst thing you could do.
Mm.
My mom,
Come on, somebody. Yep.
yeah, my mother at that point, my mother's a college graduate now. Like, she has her master's and everything, but she had never been to college. And even though my grandmother had been to college, she went to Wayne State. And the thing is, my mother, she didn't want me to go that far. She was
Yeah.
like, "You don't know, it's Florida, it's too far, blah 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 blah." And because she had lived out of state before, briefly right out of high school, and she wound up coming back,
Yeah.
and she lived a little bit in Texas for like a year or two or whatever, but that was it. For most of her life, she had lived in Detroit. And so the
Mhm.
idea of her baby going off to
Her
FAMU
only
was
baby. Yep.
yes, I'm her
Sure.
only child, and the
Yep, yes,
idea of her
sir.
going off to FAMU was scary. So she was the thing is, because my mother wasn't paying for any of my college, because between financial aid and my scholarship, like, I could have really ignored her because and gone, because I'm like, I could have ignored her and
Mhm.
just did it. But her saying that, it gave me anxiety about it. And so
Yeah.
I started looking. So the four schools I applied to was FAMU, Clark, Michigan, and Michigan State. And I got in all of them. Right. Well, Clark, I think, you know what? I filled out the application. I'm not sure if I sent it though. But
Mm.
because I was like, well, Atlanta's a little closer, but I think because of the whole FAMU conversation didn't go well, that I was like a
Yeah.
little hesitant about it. But and I do love to tell Michigan grads that I was like, "Oh, I could have gone to Michigan. I got in. I just chose to go to Michigan State." And a big reason I chose to go to Michigan State was because they had a journalism program and Michigan,
Mhm.
and that was very highly regarded, that was
Yeah.
accredited. They also had a college newspaper, the State News, that was considered the best in the country. So that I purely went there really just to pursue journalism. But I think you're right, is that when you go to a PWI, and I certainly do not subscribe to the belief that some people have, that if you go to a HBCU, because you're dealing with, it's pretty much obviously all black students, black professors, majority, that that's not the real world. I don't buy into that. But I
No,
do
yeah.
think when you go to a PWI, that you really get a education, and not only how to just stick up for yourself and advocate for yourself,
Mhm.
but I think you see dynamics of racism that are real interesting, where you are
Ooh,
like,
child,
yeah, I
baby.
mean, the first time I got called the N word, other than affectionately, was at college, right? It's
Mhm.
like
With
it was
no shame.
right,
It's
and it
her
was like,
name.
oh, that's what we doing,
Yeah, and they real
and
comfortable with it. They real comfortable with it.
very, very
The
comfortable.
roommate
And
I had in that converted triple, yeah, like you, I had a
the
converted
converted
triple.
triple.
Yeah, 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 it was supposed to be a double, but yeah, mhm, yep,
Yeah. And
mhm.
so, because you are, you going to class with white folks, you living among white folks, like, it's a lot
White
different
all day, okay, white
all
all
day.
day,
And
every
and
day.
so that having
Your
that
job that you got
yes,
after class
your
is
job,
white,
yes, all of that,
baby.
majority white. And
Yep.
in a way, the good thing about it is that I do think, if you're a black student, it makes the black students, like, kinda closer, because
Yeah,
we
we
are
definitely
we
had our
we
sex.
really are all we
You
got.
know, we did. We had our sex. We had our
Yep.
East Coast, our Midwest, our West Coast, our Southerners. Yep. We had
Yeah.
our little sex on campus,
Yeah.
our Black Student
We
Union. Yep.
yeah, I mean, we literally all we got, because we are heavily outnumbered on this
Yeah.
campus. And while I don't regret going to Michigan State at all, I would, if I had kids, I would encourage them to probably go to a HBCU, only from the standpoint of, of course, I'm a propagandize them to Michigan State a little bit for sure, but I would probably tell them that if it came down to MSU, um, or to a HBCU, I would probably tell them to go to a HBCU, because
Yeah.
the thing is, like, the other part of the argument that never gets discussed is that we got our whole lives to be in the minority, and we will definitely be in the minority, right? We got
Listen.
And so, the longer that you could be in a situation where you are feeling a level of comfort and safety among your own people,
Yeah.
take it. Okay, take it.
Absolutely.
And not to mention, listen, still HBCUs, I saw a stat not too long ago, they still produce 40% of the Black professionals in the workplace, like a
Mhm.
significant number of Black
Mhm.
professionals come from HBCUs. And so, from a networking standpoint, that's even better to where it's like, okay, we all making moves together. We all one band, one sound.
Mhm.
So, even though I enjoyed and still have great relationships with a lot of the people that I went to school with, you're on a campus with 40,000 people. Like
Right,
it's kind of
yeah.
hard to stay tight knit when it's
Yep,
that many folks.
yep.
So yeah, like I
But
would
how does it
definitely
but
advocate.
how does it, project when you show up at spaces such as ESPN?
Well, it's sort of like a different version of what you experience, or I should
Pretty
say
much.
a similar
Mhm,
version of what
mhm.
you experience. So I do think you get quite a education about race, um, in terms of understanding white people in a
Yep.
different way
How to
because
code switch when necessary, how to check their asses when
yeah,
necessary, how to let them know enough. Yeah.
mhm. You
Yeah.
learn all of that, but also too, what the one of the biggest takeaways I had in at Michigan State from that standpoint was that I realized that white people could go their whole lives and never interact with us. Like that, it blew my mind because I remember
Mhm.
having a conversation with my suite mates and we got real cool and everything, and they had never heard of Malcolm X. Never. And it's like white people have to go out of their way.
Ever.
They had never heard of him. They did not know who he was legitimately. And like as the only thing they knew about black people other than through music and not really through movies then, but really through like the music, the only thing they knew about us from a history standpoint was slavery and Martin Luther King. That was literally all they knew. And it
Wow.
was just mind-boggling to me because
Mhm.
we have to know them. They don't have to
But
know
then
us.
oh, oh, because
They
how
don't
many
have to know
times
us.
have you had to correct them how they say your name? I know you
Quite a bit.
I've been called Raquel, Raquel. So while we are talking about ESPN, I have to say, I was so rooting for you during the whole time you were there and the whole Chris Berman bullshit. I like that whole time I felt attacked as a black woman. But now coming to what's happened with Ryan Clark,
Mhm.
now coming around to that, I have to say, like, has the culture there of that conglomerate changed any? Seems
No,
like
I mean,
the black folks are still fighting for their life at ESPN and getting discarded. I mean, from in the book, I remember noted that it was a mutual agreed upon
mhm, it
separation for
was.
y'all. So it wasn't
Yeah.
ugly. It wasn't ugly when
No.
you left.
Mm-mm.
But
It
from like you said, with Jalen Rose and Ryan Clark now, it seemed like it got a little ugly for them. And
no,
they
it
weren't
did.
respected. They weren't dismissed respectfully. It was handled
No,
sloppily, as you said.
it was very sloppy, and yeah, both found out on air, and to me, ESPN, they're too big of a company. Um, that should never happen. They should not show such gracelessness when you are letting people go. Listen, I get it. It's not easy to lay people off, but you got to do it better than that. And I thought they did a very poor job of handling that. Now, one thing that you were asking about the culture of ESPN. I mean, this applies to whatever part of corporate America you are in. Corporate America in general is cutthroat and it's ruthless. And it can be exceptionally ruthless, obviously, for Black people because we have so much more we have to navigate politically, socially. We have a lot of things that we have to be able, um, we have it's a lot of grenades we got to avoid for sure.
Mhm.
But I think in Ryan's case, and I said this to him personally because I just was with him a few days ago. I was like, it was very clear by the way they let you go that somebody up in there, or maybe it was more than one person, did not like you and did
What
not want you there because just even from a production a standpoint, it didn't really make a lot of sense because Ryan had definitely become one of their top most known analysts. He won an Emmy for crying out loud.
right.
Um, yeah, I mean, he won an
And as you
Emmy.
said, he's multi-talented in different
Yeah,
areas. So
he
when you
is.
say, who is your theory? Who is your theory that made, is it executive? Do you think it's an
Oh, it was
executive who
definitely
didn't
at
like
the
him,
executive
or
level,
or
a
somebody, one of the
1000%.
other personalities?
Nah, no, I don't think it was one
Okay,
of the
because
other
Stephen A is not
personalities.
my favorite.
No,
I don't.
no, I don't think, and Ryan and Stephen A have a good relationship, so I don't
Okay,
think
good.
it was
Okay.
not, it
All
was
right. I'm gonna
definitely
kill that
not Stephen A.
hypothesis. Okay.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
no, it was not Stephen A, and I don't
Okay.
think it was any of the other ESPN personalities. But when you have to lay people off, it becomes about money for sure. But then it's also an opportunity for the company to get rid of some people they don't like. And
Mm,
I think he fell into that category because, given the fact that he was a part of NFL Countdown, NFL Live, Get Up, First Take, like these very popular shows, and he was a
mhm,
popular personality. The thing about ESPN, you can get on their bad side if you create in their mind what is the wrong kinds of headlines.
mm,
And when Ryan criticized the Louisiana police because of how they dealt and handled the Kyron Lacey situation, Kyron Lacey, former, he's a LSU, he was an LSU football player. Ryan went to LSU as well. He knew the kid personally. He unfortunately died by suicide, and it was it seemed to be because the police were trying to blame him for this accident,
mm,
and he was coming out for the NFL draft, and it was going to greatly impact. It was an accident in which unfortunately, a older man was killed, and so as the evidence started to come out, I think there was a lot of questions about how the police were handling it, and Ryan addressed those questions,
yeah.
and so he went on air with them. And there's when you come after the police, there's probably
Mhm.
going to be a consequence
Mm,
for it.
treading on
And
thin
so
ice.
right. And
Mhm. You know they
ESPN
don't
is,
like it. Mhm.
they
You
don't.
was getting
So
too
like
black.
they
Getting too. You was
Yeah, I mean,
getting
it's
too. Yeah.
just
Mhm.
one of those types of headlines that ESPN, I'm sure, did not love. And there were other times where Ryan was very outspoken, and I'm sure they didn't love that either. And the thing is, when you're a black personality in that position, is that then you become a target of right-wing people and
Yeah.
right-wing publications and Fox News. And next thing you know, they writing about you, and they writing about what you said, and they attacking you. And so Ryan had to go through all of that. And those are ESPN was thrust into a culture war they didn't want any part of. Not with Ryan. It started before Ryan, right? And
Mhm.
so I think the company in some ways has they've tried to overcorrect by trying
Mm.
to ingratiate themselves with certain types of groups to prove, no, y'all are still important to us. And I'm like,
Mm.
to me, it seems kind of obvious. Like what they're doing is like, yeah, it's important to them in some respects to prioritize young white men. It
Yeah.
is. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
if you
Mm.
get on the bad
Mm.
side of a group that they want to prioritize, then you're gonna be
Mhm.
vulnerable when it's conversations about layoffs. And the thing
Mhm.
is, when I left ESPN, when I did, I was just in my first year of a 4-year contract. So I had 3 years to go, right? But part of the reason I wanted to leave, other than the fact that I felt like our relationship had kind of run its course, there were other things I wanted to
'Cause you were there
do.
about 12 years. You were
Yeah,
there about
12 years
12 years.
total, yes. But this
Mhm.
is my last contract that I had with them. I was on a 4-year contract.
Okay.
And another reason why I left is because I didn't want them to do to me what they did to Ryan. That's why I
Yeah.
left as
Yeah.
well.
You like,
Because
yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
if I
You
stay
not
there, I
either.
left when I had
You
leverage.
check the temperature of the room. Yep.
Correct. I was like, I
Mm,
left when I had leverage. If I stay there any longer, I'm just going to allow them to build a case against me, in which eventually, if there's a layoff conversation, and then plus, I just didn't think, I was like, there's no way these people gonna give me another contract up in here. Like, I just didn't think
yeah,
that was gonna
after that
happen.
Trump shit, they was hot as
Yeah,
Swiss grease.
exactly. So I was
Yeah,
like, they're not gonna
yeah.
give me another contract. So what, I'm just gonna prolong it, slow walk
Right,
it for
right.
3 years?
And I
No
love how
way.
you were like, "I'm not about to bend." I love that
Nope.
theme throughout your book, how you was like, I'm sticking to my guns." And I love how at times you were introspective about how you had fucked up. You were like, "You know what? I made a mistake here." So that was
Mhm.
good that you got out. But I wanted to ask about, and my heart was kind of hurting when I was watching you on Politics the other day when you were saying you needed a whole therapy session about why this Colin Kaepernick
Yeah,
documentary has not seen the light of day, directed
yeah,
by Spike Lee. Goddamn, I know it's great.
it is.
Can you talk about what that experience? And we know it's a lot of red tape. And as someone who's been in media myself over 10 years, I get it. I get it. All you saying, like, the thing you said about people saying start your own network. Please, people do not understand how much, like you said, money it takes to do that. But what from that experience, not you were the executive producer on that. What from that experience did you learn about telling complex stories?
Well, first it was very surreal to be in a position where I have to give Spike Lee notes. I was like, "What?" Like
I love it.
the same one who gave us Malcolm X and Do the Right Thing and
Listen,
Inside
come on
Man and
now.
all this. I was like, "I'm giving
You
him
gotta
notes?
have
That's
it.
crazy."
Listen, who you telling? Come on.
Yeah.
Right,
So,
right.
but being on set and seeing Spike's thought process, understanding his vision, it was really informative for me as somebody who would like to make the transition behind the camera. So I considered it to be a great learning experience. Spike was great to work with. Colin, Colin was he's incredible. I mean, he's one of the most principled people I've ever met in my life.
Mm,
And the only reason I won't share more about why this doc has not seen the light of day is because that's Colin's story to tell. That's not my story. If he
mm,
tells a story, I'll come in with my own perspective and say it, and that'll be that, or him or Spike's. That's for them to tell. And I'll chime in after that. But I want to give them the courtesy of telling their own story about the documentary. But you know, I know there was this whole conversation because of Jay-Z about what Colin is and isn't allowed to say about the
uh-huh,
NFL. He can say whatever he wants to about the
yeah,
NFL. And trust me, he did in this documentary. All right.
okay.
It's seven parts for a reason. And it ain't because
Yeah, you
because he
clarify
had a
he
lot
doesn't have
to
an
say.
NDA. You clarify he don't have no NDA.
He don't have
Right.
an
Yeah, he
NDA,
can say
right?
what
I was
yeah,
like,
okay.
maybe there are terms, and I don't even know, and I'd have to verify this, but I don't even know if it's just purely related to discussing the financial terms. It might be
Mm,
just that part of it, and that's it. But in terms of he's criticized the NFL since he left, and he's
right.
got a book coming out in September. So I'm
Mm,
sure he will share a lot of his feelings, much like he did in this documentary. But it really is great. And I can only hope that one day I'll get to get it'll see the light of day.
yeah.
Maybe one of
Is
these
that through
days.
your lodge, Freeway Media, as
No,
well?
so
Okay.
actually,
That's
so people can understand, ESPN bought the doc. So
oh,
yes, it was gonna be a 30 for 30. ESPN right now
oh,
is in possession of the
quit
documentary.
playing.
Yeah.
ESPN, quit playing.
So Imma just leave it at that. It's like they
You know
and just
what? My
know
nerve.
that the doc has been signed off on by both Spike and Colin, but
Mhm.
it is in the
Okay.
possession of ESPN. They were the ones who bought the documentary.
Okay. All right. We're gonna put a pin in that and gonna come back
Yeah.
to that. So you have so many things going on again, Jamel. Lodge Freeway Media's politics. You on there with Abby Phillips, which I know is about to be a
Yeah.
time. You
Yes,
and Curry.
actually, that's what I'm about to do in
Yeah,
about an hour.
okay,
I gotta
okay.
go over and get glammed up and be
Well,
on
shout
there
out to
tonight
her.
for
I
the
love her.
show.
She's another one who just stands on business. Shout out to
Mhm.
her. You and Curry on Flagrant and Funny. Am I saying her name right? Curry?
Carrie, it's Carrie.
Carrie. My
Yeah.
apologies. Carrie.
Mhm.
Listen, it's a time. I be there with my drink, like, you know what they talking about today? What's the tea today, baby? Well, so I love it. I love you have a good girlfriends talk. Um, but I wanted to specifically talk about with the WNBA how so much progress has been made, but still the equity. We still they still it's like the salaries are increasing a little bit. We're getting a little bit more viewership. It's like the little engine that's getting there for me. I'm always rooting for the WNBA and salute to Kobe Bryant, who was an advocate for them. And as you brought up Alexis Ohanian, um, so much progress has been made, but what do you think the gap is? What else needs to happen for the WNBA to get the respect? To get the
Well,
respect on their name that the NBA does.
I tell you what, though, one thing that we should do is, like, we shouldn't compare the WNBA to where the NBA is right now. What we
Mm,
should do, so the WNBA is 30 years old. I encourage everybody to look at where the NBA was after 30 years. Trust me when I tell you, these women are
mm,
way ahead, way
okay.
ahead. Okay. This last collective bargaining agreement was historic because now they are millionaires. Now they're able to actually make a million
As they
dollars
should.
in this league as they should.
Yeah.
And that when I think about when they started in the first season, I believe was 1997. and the WNBA was the first professional beat that I covered.
Mhm.
And, back then it's like players were sharing hotel rooms and they was really cutting
Mhm.
corners to try to, but they all, the pioneers of the game, they all were good with it because they wanted them to get to this moment. I just saw the ratings for the WNBA All-Star game. They were up 44% from last year. Over
Yeah,
3.5 million people, about 3.5 people watched the game. There were more people who attended the WNBA All-Star game than attended the NBA All-Star game.
I
And
love it.
so you see that they have made tremendous progress. And so I just look, the fellas have like, they got like a 50, 60 year head start. Okay. So it's like, for where
Mhm.
they are in this moment after 30 years, trust me,
Mhm.
if you would have told Lisa Leslie or Cheryl Swoops or Cynthia Cooper or any of those who started this league that in 2026 that the highest paid player in the WNBA would be able to make $1.5 million, $2 million a year, that this would, they would have been like, oh my God, we did it.
Right.
Like they would have taken that hands down, and that they'd have a media rights deal that's over, I think it's like $300 million, something where like close to that. It's the highest one they've ever, that they've ever had. Or that the fact that they're adding multiple new franchises, including Detroit with the shop
I
coming
love
back,
it. I
right?
love it. As they should.
So
As they
as
should.
yes.
Somebody said it should be called the aftershock. Wait a minute. Media rights deal. Right. Child, you know how we do. We get to talking. Wait a minute. Media rights deal. For the people who don't know, what does that mean exactly? In a nutshell, right
Okay.
quick.
So what that means is that what happens in these deals is that NBC, I think in this case, actually I was so wrong about the number. You know what? It was, I think their media rights deal combined is $3 billion. Okay. And
Mm.
so I think it's like something, I forgot, it's 11 years, like whatever that breaks down per year. So
Okay.
Disney, NBC, and Amazon, that they ink the media rights deal with,
Mm.
meaning that those three networks pay the WNBA to broadcast their games.
Yep. Okay.
And
Got
so roughly they're on average, just from the media rights portion, they're making 281 million a
it.
year.
Ooh.
Okay. And so what then happens is like there's revenue sharing. So percentage of that goes to the league, and then a lot of it is split among all the WNBA owners. That's how they make money.
Mm.
So yeah, so anytime you hear that, like say the NFL, for example, I think right now they're on like a $13 billion deal with
Wow.
ESPN. So ESPN is paying the NFL $3 billion a year to broadcast games, and ESPN has the Super Bowl coming up next year. So anyway, that's so when we
In a
say media
nutshell, what
rights,
a media rights is. Yeah, I
that's what
love
it
it. I
means.
love it.
Mhm.
So I want to switch a little bit and have some married woman talk.
Okay.
The bedroom conversations. Listen, so my husband and I have been married 24 years, child. And so I wish you and Ian that and many more. How long has it been now?
So now, so we got married in 2019, so we are in year 7.
Okay, okay. So
Yep.
listen, how do y'all, with you traveling here, there, and everywhere, you spending half your time on the plane, you in the hotel rooms and all of that. How do y'all maintain the bond?
So, as does he, because his travel schedule ain't no joke either, So,
My
well, I
goodness.
mean, communication. I mean, I'm sure you know this as a married woman. Communication is key, and I think when we are together, we're very present together,
Mm.
and so that also helps. Now, this July, I mean, July, my summer wasn't supposed to be like this. It was supposed to be a little chill summer, but it has
Mhm.
not been at all. So this was a little surprising that I've had to travel as much as I have in the last month and a half. But I think because we have such genuine care and respect and a genuine friendship, which I think is a really
Mm.
big important component about marriage, is the
Absolutely.
friendship. Yeah, it's like
Absolutely. Y'all gotta
he's
be
my best
like
friend.
homies. Yep.
Correct. He is my best friend. I was like, my favorite person to gossip with is definitely my husband. a
Listen,
thousand
they
percent.
know they be gossiping like us. I don't know why
They
they be saying
do.
girl, they be gossiping just like us. They just don't want to say
Yeah.
that.
But the thing is, though, this is how this is what get me. This is what will annoy me. Is like when something's going on, like let's say my husband's job or something, and he telling me about it, they don't ask enough questions for me. I'll be like, but what about
Exactly. Yes.
right?
Well, I didn't ask
I
that.
need
Why? Why would
why?
you want to baby? The
They see
same
they don't know
thing.
how to get the
He'd be
tea
like, I
right. They
don't
don't know
know.
how to get the tea yet.
I don't like but he will put me up on some stuff though. He be the one telling me about different stuff in the news and stuff sometimes. I'm like, oh, you nosy though. You nosy like me. You not nosy.
Right.
You nosy just like me. So I wanted to also talk about how the different faces of Jemele with the different hairstyles, baby. Wait a minute, Joe. Let's bring up the video and play like 30
Oh, no,
seconds.
y'all don't have a video.
Yeah,
Oh my
I know.
God.
We got a
Oh
video
my
where you
God.
had to check, folks, and I got pictures too. So
Oh
we're gonna do
Lord.
a segment called Main Character, MANE
Okay.
character, because being from Detroit, we the hair capital, right? People
Absolutely.
don't know. We the hair capital. So I love how you were checking people. And Joe, let's bring up the video right quick. We're gonna play about 30, 45 seconds of this video.
Now, normally I don't like explaining myself, but I'm gonna make an exception because one subject continues to come up as it relates to me. What's up with the infatuation with my hair? And it's not everybody, but more and more in the comments, more and more on other social media platforms that I frequent, people are coming at me about my hair, accusing me of all people, of trying to be like a white woman. I mean, it's so stupid. It's just absurd, right? Like I'm trying to present a white aesthetic because I want to be like white women. First of all, most Black women don't desire to be that at all. Definitely not me. And what's interesting, especially as it relates to beauty, if anything, it's the other way around. It's they getting the lip fillers, they getting the booties, they doing all that. Like there's a lot of people out there trying to emulate a shape that is common among Black women. And so it's among the many reasons why I find it to be absurd, the fact that I would be trying to appeal to some kind of European standard of beauty. Over the course of my adult life, I've had many hairstyles and many hair colors. And if you remember when I was at ESPN, I had black hair, I had light brown hair.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna stop it there because now I want to segue into some of the times your hair has been the main MANE character. Let's start with some of the brown, Joe. Let's start with some of the brown. Because like me, you a chameleon. The hair looks different at times. I have had people who they don't even recognize me at times because they're like, why your hair is like, listen, let's go.
That was a brown,
this was an ESPN.
yeah.
I want to say I love it. And I love, like you said, you were one of the first women on TV wearing braids.
Mhm.
Listen, okay, so this is one. This is another one. The braids be braiding, baby. I love it. This is the blonde. This is the blonde, which is cute. Not looking like
Yeah.
white girlish at all. Not
No,
at
I think
all.
you could tell very clearly I'm Black.
Black. Black. Black. Okay, so here's another one with the braid on TV, representing the many phases of Jemele. Go ahead, click through them, Joe. This one, okay, this was giving hot girl summer right here. This is giving, yeah.
I got the bust down. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, and that's what I'm saying. The versatility, like, love it. Come on, let's do another one, Joe. Oh, this one with the wig. Listen, I love that. Super cute, super cute. And we just got to figure out what works for us. And just a couple more here.
Oh, God, that's my young ESPN days. Oh my God,
you're so precious. Look at you.
Oh, look like a baby.
But don't look that much different now, though. I mean, listen, the black is not cracking. It's not cracking. So again, this is Jemele and her main character, where the hair was MANE, the main character, y'all. Okay, I just want to salute you on that.
Thank you.
How you be rocking the multiple looks, and a lot of times we know, and I know it's hard in media to avoid. That's why I have to sometimes take my medicine so I calm down, because you be want to punch people in the throat, the shit they be saying in the comments. But as a media person, you're like, okay, I gotta be calculated with this. I gotta be careful with this. So, Jemele, I'm sorry. So the fiction book, is the children's fiction book coming? Are
Oh,
you
yeah,
working
the
on it?
children's book is definitely coming, and so the
Okay.
children's book will be out, I believe, in February, if I'm not mistaken. So, like,
2027.
I've seen the cover, I've seen, like, the illustration is amazing because I'm sure the people out there who have children, they know this. It's like the kids go for the illustration, like, that's what they like.
Right.
So
Listen, we just like the
that's a
picture.
really important part, but it's
What
called
age group is this for?
what'd you say?
What age group is this for?
That is a good question because I think, I feel like it's like 4 to 12 or something like that.
Okay.
Um, but the book is called Unapologetically You, and it's like teaching kids
Mhm.
how to be unapologetic. That is the
Yeah.
whole, kind of point of the book. So, but yeah, I never expected to be writing a children's book. It was an idea that I was approached about by a publisher. So, but the fun thing about writing for a children's audience is that you really got to be hopeful when you write. Like
Right. Right.
you
And you
read my
just
memoir.
like you got to get your jaded adult shit out the
You're
way.
right, exactly, exactly. It's like
Yeah.
you can't write with the same sense that you have as an adult. Like
Yeah. This ain't
you don't want to
uphill.
tell them,
Mm-mm.
yeah, the world is
Nope.
trash. I don't know how to tell you this, but
Right. Right. Right.
but
We
you
got to give
can't
them
tell
hope.
them that. You
Right.
can't tell
You
them
can
that.
do
You have to,
anything, even though people
right,
gonna fuck with you along the way. But you can do
exactly.
anything.
But you can do
Yeah.
anything, even though you might have to, as you said, punch somebody in the throat along the way. So yeah,
Yeah.
that part I enjoyed that, like writing more optimistically, writing about like, hey, you can figure this thing out, and it's good to stand up for yourself and all that kind of stuff. So it was
Mhm.
cool.
I love it. And I'm sure because I'm sure a lot of young black girls look up to you. I'm sure they do. So
Yeah,
as
I
they
mean,
should,
I often am approached by young black girls, and that really gives me so much joy. It's also so humbling because
Mhm.
there's plenty of women that they could pick to look up to, and the fact that some of them choose me is really an honor.
All right. What would be two pieces of advice you would give a young, say I'm so young, I'm precious, I'm high school Jamel. Jamel, what would the advice be?
Well, number one is don't ruin your credit for a free T-shirt. Don't do it.
Oh my
Do
God,
not do it. I
listen.
don't care how many free
Oh,
T-shirts Discover
oh,
give you.
oh.
Don't
You
do
peeking
it.
in my back door with this one, baby, baby.
I mean, I'm saying
Uh,
because I was
all the
like, oh,
tumblers and shit. Yes.
I mean, my credit score by the time I left college, I was like, I
Baby.
they wouldn't even let me check out a library book. Okay, trust me. So don't do it. The other piece of advice I would give is you'd be surprised what you accomplish if you just keep going. And I know that seems like very simple advice, but because you're going to face problems and obstacles and that kind of thing. And a lot of times the people who make it to the other side are people who just had the dedication and the commitment and the resiliency and the resolve to stay in it. And
Yep.
so because of that, I think that allowed them to really persevere when some people might look at it and be surprised that they did. It's like you be surprised what you accomplish if you just keep going.
Keep going. Keep going. I love
Yeah.
it. So Jamel, where can people find you? What do you have going on? And then I want to close with rapid fire. Some rapid fire
Okay.
questions for you. But where can people find you and follow?
Oh, well, thank you. Well, they can definitely find me on social media. I have a YouTube page, the official Jemele Hill YouTube page called It's Jemele Hill. Spolitics is on there. And of course, they can listen to, as you do, me and Carrie on Flagrant and Funny, which comes out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Also available on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts across social media. It's the same name, Jemele Hill. So you, you can find me in any of those places.
I love it. I love it. So we don't going to do some quick rapid fire. So
Mhm.
if you could, would you change the past or choose to see the future?
As it related to my own life or just
However you want to interpret the
okay.
question. Because
I would
of
definitely change.
course, you affect your life and others.
For sure, I would change the past for Black people 1,000% if I could, because I
Baby,
think the future and the
let
present
it
would be
trickle on
looking a
down.
little bit differently if not for some key things that happened to us as a people. I would definitely change that.
Baby. Woo. Okay.
Yeah.
Favorite sport to report on?
Um, I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna say the WNBA now. And for a while, it was the NBA, but I'm gonna say the WNBA. I mean, in addition to the exciting things that are going on there, is that and what I've always found is with female athletes is that the access to them is a lot easier. And they keep it real, and they have like there's some tremendous personalities in the tremendous
Mhm.
personalities, and um, yeah, I just really I'm coming off a WNBA All-Star weekend. I got to talk to a lot of the players, and it was just really great to be in community with them and hearing their perspective. And so I'm gonna say the W.
Okay. Hardest interview.
Hardest interview I ever had. It was so bad we had to make fun of it. It was when I was at ESPN doing his and hers, and we interviewed Manny Pacquiao. Manny
Yeah.
Pacquiao is a terrible interview, in part because there is a language barrier, and which
Yeah.
is not his fault, obviously. But like him a question and he'll just sit there and do this and just shake his head. And you're like, you could talk. Like, I want you to say something. And so it was probably one of the few interviews because usually, you do a television interview and they'll slot it for a certain amount of time. And they'll say, like, okay, you got 5 minute segment with Manny Pacquiao.
Mhm.
When I tell you we ejected from that segment after like a minute and a half, it was like, yo, we're like, yeah, Manny, thanks. Appreciate you joining us. And we must have laughed about that interview for like another
'Cause it
four
was
minutes.
hard. Manny
Because he
needed some media training,
mm,
huh?
Manny
It'd be
needed some
hard.
media
You know
training.
what? The athletes, I think that needs to be a requirement in some of their contracts because sometimes when I look at some of these, when I watch some of the press conferences, you can tell like the media training is so. I'm like, oh my god, boo, this is so horrible to watch. And I know they got to do it, but sometimes it be so hard watching them because they don't
Yeah.
can't put the words to
Well,
what.
some of
Yeah.
it too is that like realize every teams and leagues, they do media training. Like they give them media training. So
Okay.
the problem is, well, it's a few things. One, every athlete is not comfortable speaking publicly.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of a thing. And the other part is just because you tell them don't mean they're gonna listen.
Right. Yeah.
So
Okay. This is true. This is true. Okay.
yeah.
So dream interview that you still would like the person you still like to interview.
Um, I would probably say Oprah Winfrey. Yeah, it'd probably be Oprah.
Mm.
I had to go back and forth between her and maybe Michelle Obama, but
But you done
I
been
think
to the White House. You done,
yeah, I was like, I've met Michelle Obama. I've
I'm
never interviewed
interviewed. Yeah.
her, which is a little
Ooh.
different. And Oprah appeared on her podcast not too long ago. But because of one, every interview we watch at Oprah be dropping gems, like real jewelry. She
Yeah.
dropped it, right? And given her career and the way she bet on herself, I would just love to pick her brain and to like just
Yes.
understand her process. And because what she did in media, I mean, it changed history. And
Absolutely.
there's a lot of Black women maybe of my age and others who really look up to her because of, I mean, like these kids will never understand how important the Oprah Winfrey show was. Will
The
never understand.
baby.
I mean,
Baby. Okay.
listen, it's
Way
like,
before her favorite things, okay?
oh my
And
God, like
you know,
the
when she
Oprah
started
Winfrey
on
show.
radio and TV,
Yep, the
listen,
TV.
we could definitely. I'm okay.
Yes, like
We can agree.
Oprah changed the game.
The game. Not even just for women, just for media, period, just for
For media,
entertainment,
period.
just
Yep.
for TV,
Mhm.
all of
Yep.
that, culture, just everything. Favorite place to visit when you come home to Detroit?
Now it's gonna involve some food, right? So it's like
Listen, let's go.
it's gonna involve
She's
some food.
giving that man every time she come home, she can't wait to get to the Coney. She can't wait to get to
I
Olga's Kitchen.
mean,
It ain't everywhere, okay?
it's different every time. Like last time I was home, I really wanted a corned beef sandwich. And so
Mm.
I was like, because
You
I
go to
hadn't had
Lou's
one.
Deli? Ooh,
So I
your
almost
bread
went
back.
to lose, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go to Motown Deli because it was a little
Huh,
closer to where I was. And Motown
okay.
Deli,
On the east side?
listen, to me, that's Lou's direct competition
Okay.
is Motown. Like
Is that where it's on
Motown
east
Deli
side?
is that
It's on
yeah,
it's on
it's
east
on
side?
Gratiot. Yep, it
Yes,
is.
Gratiot and Mount
Mhm.
Elliott, baby,
Yep.
east
Yep.
side.
Yo, yes, the East Sider.
Uh-huh. I love it, I love it. Okay, so last question. There's gonna be a biopic produced on you. Who would play you?
Oh gosh. You know, I think a lot of people try to go with the physical likeness first, but off the top of my head, like people used to say that me and Taraji P. Henson look similar.
Ooh.
But and I'll take it. I will 100% take it. Right?
A
I was
little more
like,
browner than you, but okay.
yeah.
Okay.
But I think, just gotta think, talent wise about from a personality standpoint, who could play me is definitely Kiki Palmer. Kiki
Mm,
could definitely play me from a personality and as somebody who can sort of get the essence of like who I am. Absolutely, Kiki Palmer can play me. So,
okay.
but yeah, I'm just like trying to think of sort of looks like me and could do that. I mean, hell, in my in
I'm
my heart
thinking
of
one
hearts.
girl from Empire. What's her name? Soraya?
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
She's like
Actually, that's not
petite
bad
and
either.
cute.
Yeah,
She's like
yeah,
petite and cute, you know?
yeah. That's not
Yeah.
bad either.
She got a little spice in her.
She
I'm
she definitely
thinking,
has some spice to it. That's
yeah,
not bad either.
yeah.
Yeah,
She gotta
okay.
have a little
I was
spice
trying
though.
Yeah, I was trying to think of some like, young up and coming actors who could do this.
Yeah.
So yeah, but listen, if it's any uh biopic to be made on me, like I don't care who y'all got it. Like anybody that wants to make a movie about me, I'm like, I
Listen,
won
let's
for
go. Cause
sure.
some of them scenes from Uphill, I was like, shit. Right. But you have really persevered, and I can see. And how is Mama doing? Right, quick, because I
Oh
was like,
no,
throughout the book, I'm like, how is Mama doing?
oh no, mom is great. Like, she got her this is a while ago. She went back, she got her bachelor's, or I should say when she went to, because she didn't go to college until she was in her 50s. Like her,
Mm,
yeah, like her late 40s, 50, not I think late 40s maybe. So I was very proud of her for that. And then she kept going. She got her master's. I was like, okay, I see you out
right.
here all
Mm.
educated and stuff. So I'm very proud of her. And right now, yeah, she lives in Novi and everything. I just
Is
talked to
she
her yesterday.
clean? She
Oh yeah,
clean?
she's been sober for, oh man, it's been a while. It's been a while. So like
Good. Yeah.
she's been clean for a long time.
I
So
love
yeah.
that.
And
It really, yeah.
it is one thing I do love is the fact that she's chosen to go to therapy, and to just working through your past is not easy. And so
Mhm.
like there were things that I know she wanted to work through, and I didn't it was not my suggestion for her to go. It's something she wanted to do on her own. And so I'm really proud of her for just trying to unpack a lot of stuff, and
Yeah,
address
I love that.
some of the wounds that still linger from that time in her life.
I love that, and I appreciate how you recognize that, and that's something that us as children realize our parents are human too.
Mhm.
And my daughter's 23, my son is 15, and we're in the midst of that. Like parenthood will show you just how fucked up you are. Like you really like
Right.
like just like
Okay.
marriage will show you the shit you gotta work on.
Oh, oh, you ain't lying.
It
Yeah.
will let you know, like, oh, okay, your shit stank. It got a little
Yep.
extra stank to it.
Yep.
Parenthood is the same way. And I love how that journey you took with your mom, still loving her and trying to understand her. And they say, like, the final step of being a woman is understanding your mom and looking back,
Mm.
because initially we judge and we condemn what they've done. But then when we see some of the shit that they've dealt with, and we're like, okay, they
Right.
made the best decisions with what they
Or
had.
start experiencing some of the things they did as well. Then you like, "Ooh, now I know.
Oh,
Now I see."
mhm.
Right.
As
Yeah,
I
no,
told my
you're
daughter, keep living. So I enjoyed you, Jamel. Girl, seriously, because they don't even understand. Like we 50, and they think like when we were 23, 50 was like so old, right?
I
But I
know.
feel
Everybody
like
got
I'm
here
just
quick.
in a different fact. Right, right. I was like, wait a minute. Shit. When I was listening to something on the radio the other day, I said, wait a minute, High Five came on. And I said, this is 30 years ago. Remember she playing Hard to Get? What, can't
Mhm.
wait
I
another minute.
do.
I'm like, this is 30 years ago. This shit is blowing my mind. I was just in my TV room. That's what we called it, not a den. We ain't had no family room when I was little.
That's right, it was the TV room.
It was the TV room and on BET. So it's a trip how now when you were younger, you thought like, oh, I got all this time. And now you like, shit.
Where did
This
it go?
uh,
Where did it
we
go? Yeah.
50 up it, but I feel like now we are more settled, we are more confident, we can demand our value now. I love that for us. And I love how we pass that on to others. So again, I appreciate it, Jamel. And hopefully I can see you when you come back to the city again.
Oh,
Please
absolutely. We'll have
let
to
me
get
know how I
together.
can support in any way. I do contribute to a few other platforms as well. So and like you, I'm a multimedia journalist. So here, there, and everywhere. always got my hand in something. Because that's the thing you learn in media. You have to learn how to pivot. You have to learn how to show up in different spaces. You have to hone different skills. It's definitely one of those, type of professions. So again, I commend you for all you're doing. And please just know at any time, if you need support or promotion or something, please reach out to us here at Rocky's Reality, and we'd love to, reconnect with you at some point in the future.
All right. Well, thank you, Rocky. It was a pleasure to be on with you, and I really enjoyed the conversation.
You're
So
welcome.
you keep going too.
I'm trying out here, child. I'm trying, listen, trying to get my little piece, because like you, I grew up watching Oprah. My grandma every afternoon, 4 p.m. watching Oprah, right? So, and just all of the people, like I come from the Phil Donahue and Sally Betsy Raphael days.
Yeah, little Ricky Lake. Yep.
Judy Jones, if you know. So we come from a line of that. So again, I appreciate you, and good luck on everything. And I look forward to everything that you have coming out in the future.
All right. Take care.
Take care. All right, y'all. So thank you for watching Rocky's Reality. Next week, we have a phenomenal. So August is Black Business Month, or National Black Business Month. Okay. And so in August, we are going to feature some dynamic business owners, and we'll start with Sean Bumpers of Pink Poodle Bridal. You all may have seen her here in the city, but also nationwide as well. She's available for those who want to order bridal gowns. So she'll be here talking about her journey. And then we also have Monica Scholler Anderson of Remembering Shrubs. The event that's coming up August 1st. We're going to recap that. So stay tuned, everyone, and make sure you follow and subscribe Rocky's Reality. See you next time.